I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Hey, good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. And even when it's not a normal day, got to get the devotions done. And so here we are in the car going down I-75 towards Tennessee and eventually over to Georgia to see Stephanie and Tommy. The guys in the morning said they could hear me, so I'm assuming you can hear me too. There's my lovely bride, Kimberly, driving. She thought maybe it'd be wise that I didn't do devotions and drive at the same time. And got a lot of comments about yesterday's Bible study and service yesterday. So if you didn't get a chance to look at it, I would encourage you to do so. But let's see who's on board now. I'm working from my phone, so this is interesting. Vivian Davis, good morning. Cindy Soybert, good morning. Bert Reggiani, good morning. Olivia Thompson, good morning. Jackie Matus, good morning. Cartier Jackson, Aaron Jackson, good morning. Anne Marie, good morning. Mary Jo Johanna O'Brien, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where did you go, Mary Jo? There you are. Boy, everything just jumped on me. Diane Giroux, good morning. We got a lot of people on board. Alice, good morning. Nikki Chason, good morning. We're all good, Alice says. Nicolette, Nikki, good morning. Diane Giroux, good morning. And Marie, good morning. All right. So I can't leave the shepherds without maybe capsulizing some thoughts. So hear me out. I believe that the shepherds become an amazing process for us, a cycle for us. If you remember a sermon some time ago where I talked about there's always an upward and an inward and an outward process to our Christian lives. Well, I want you to realize that they had an upward experience. Heaven opened and angels talked to them and sang to them and told them about the birth of Jesus. So there you have an upward experience. They in turn had an inward experience, which drove them to go to Bethlehem to see what in the world was going on and wanted to see if what the angels said was true. It was almost like a overwhelming verification, needing to see what these angels just declared took place. When they got there, they couldn't help but share. So hence outward. They couldn't help but let it out. And they shared with Mary and Joseph what took place out on the hillside. And then she ponders all these things in her heart. And then they return glorifying and praising God back to an upward movement. Upward, inward, outward, upward, inward, outward. I just want you to see it, because somewhere in our lives, the shepherd's cycle should be reflected in ours. And someday that's going to be a sermon. So, Aaron, we got to talk about that. Today's verse, simple. 8 days after Jesus was born, Joseph and Mary follow the custom of the Old Testament, and they have Jesus circumcised. That amazing covenant promise that when your children are circumcised, they will be seen as part of my covenant because I will covenant with them. In the New Testament, that same covenant is transferred into baptism, where God's people faithfully baptize their children, and we baptize converts into the faith because God is covenanting with them. But it's also the day that you would give a child a name. And so there is no doubt and there is no question that they're going to name this baby the same name the angels told them to name him. Yahshua. When we say Jesus. What do you think went through Joseph and Mary's minds when the words came out of their mouths in this sacred moment of circumcision? His name will be Yahshua. And the echoing of an angel saying, because he will save his people from their sins. That he's going to be more powerful and more profound than the original Joshua, who brought the nation of Israel into the promised land. Because this Yahshua is going to bring us into an eternal promised land where there is no more fear and no more doubt and no more shame and no more guilt and no more sorrow and no more pain and no more illness. This Yahshua is going to fix everything, not just fix a political power, not just fix an earthly thing, but he is going to bring a new kingdom into play. No wonder Mary and probably others, the disciples, as they got to know Jesus, you just ponder certain things in your heart because it's too much to comprehend in the moment. It's too much to comprehend in the moment. So you spend a lifetime pondering these truths. Yahshua, Jesus. There's power in that very name because the second person of the Trinity became man and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Power and authority come with the name. A new kingdom comes with the name. He's the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last. He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He speaks and the earth melts. That's our King. That's our Yahshua, who conquered death, crushed the enemy's head, and rose again from the dead with the promise and assurance that we too now rise. Not just when we die someday, but we rise out of the ashes of the kingdom of this world and we enter into a new one. There might be just a little bit to ponder when it comes to the naming of this child. Let Jesus' name and the meaning of that name and everything you know about that name overwhelm you today as you continue this devotional thought throughout the day. And I think that's all I have for you. A number of others jumped on. I saw Brian Vlaming and I saw Emily and Steve Jansen. Everybody, I hope that this devotion was a blessing to you. Have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day. And may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.